What's going on, people? We have taken a week off. That was my fault. I was not feeling in the best of spirits for the last couple of weeks. So, run ragged, too thin, spread too much on too much bread, I guess. Um, but we are back today. We are back
We
today.
forgive you.
Yeah, hey, thank you. At least I'm not eating on camera like some Negroes.
I'm not. It's a
Oh,
cough
not me.
drop.
Okay.
Oh, are you in a man? Come on, man.
You got the Phantom sipper over here, and you're
Yeah,
talking about me.
the phantom zipper.
It's called a trademark, boo.
I know.
Bro's trademark is that stash and that little flavor saver down at the bottom there.
The goatee.
I
Is
got a
that what they call
surprise.
it? A flavor saver?
I got a surprise for everybody.
What's that?
You'll see.
He's got a surprise. I don't even
Another
know. I
ramen
don't even know.
thing.
I can do a ramen thing, but I'm not gonna say anything right now because it's all gonna lead up to a video I'm gonna do because I'm banned right now. And I've been on like a week long
Again?
ban. Oh, we get banned.
Go
You know what I
figure.
got banned for though? I posted that video, um, the black chick pointing at the census and was playing that Kanye song, and she was like, "They're saying we're 12.1%, and every year she was showing how come we've never gone up the black population." And it was just a picture of me, like, and they gave me a 7-day ban for that.
Well, of course.
Well,
Go
I can
figure.
tell you why the number is staying the same and why it's going down even. It's a pretty easy answer, and it's not prison.
Planned Parenthood.
It's another P word. Yeah, there you go.
Mhm.
Yeah, prison. No, parenthood. Planning it or not planning it. Anyway,
Or ending it.
I think it's ending parenthood. I think it's what they should call themselves.
Yeah.
Give them all hysterectomies.
Ending parenthood. So we have a
Not a
couple of
good
things to
first time of
tackle. Um, California started a new lockdown procedure. Apparently, they're trying to do a whole new um, idea um, coming up here because of Newsom. I don't know
Go
what.
figure.
Yeah. Um, my question is: do you think that they're going to bring that state or to the throughout the rest of the states? That's the big question.
Well,
Texas? No.
here's my thought. Like between New York and California, those two are the biggest movers and shakers in terms of how they want to do things culturally. And so, um, with that, I think that's probably going to try and become the influencing deals to try and influence the rest of the country.
Is he frozen?
Uh,
Yeah.
both of y'all froze, and then
Is he met it? Yep,
whoa,
he met it. Yeah, and I agree. I think if a state like California and New York they really push lockdowns, other states will follow, especially the neighbor states.
yeah.
So I don't really see the state I live in doing it again because I don't know. I don't know. Abbott's kind of he's one of those wishy washy type of dudes, so
He
you never
is,
really know
from
where
what
he's
I've
going.
yeah, from what I've gathered, he is. But I think for me, in terms of being in Georgia,
I
it's
don't
one
know
of
what
those things.
I just got booted out of everything on my computer.
I thought you were meditating for a
No,
minute.
no, no, no. It just locked me out of all of my things, and I had that. I couldn't tell you what just happened. Anyway, that's kind of weird. All right. So, what did you guys say while I was incapacitated there?
I said between New York and California being the two primary cultural influencers for America in terms of like socio-cultural influence, they're going to
Hmm.
be the ones to try. Like California's going to do this, New York's going to follow suit because California is cool that way, I guess. And then they're going to
Oregon and
try and kind
Washington
of
will be next.
right, and they're going to
Yeah,
try and kind of make that all seep into the rest of the states, and then like Bro said, Texas will maybe flounder, and I'm saying Georgia might also flounder between Kemp being the spineless twit that he is, and then
now
see.
I see Austin doing it.
Oh
Austin,
yeah,
last time
Hmm.
Austin was like locked in, the mayor shut everything down. I'm glad I don't live in Austin, but I could see Washington State doing it, especially around Portland area and all of those crappy places in Washington,
All
California,
New England.
all that. The whole West Coast is just they're gonna be locked down. Just put a fence
Yeah,
around.
I would like to, if I could leave the West Coast and just cut it off of America with like a precision knife and just set it afloat in the ocean and just let it sink, I would be happy to do that. This is what he said exactly. He said, we're trying to be much more specific, more surgical, and much more precipitative with in terms of looking at the efficacy and looking at where the data leads us to making those decisions or determinations sector by sector. Now, if you're wondering if that's a word salad, it's a word salad. All he's trying to tell you is that we won't tell you how we're going to lock it down yet. It'll just happen, and you're going to have to trust me to think that it's because I care. That's really all he's telling you.
And sorry. And
No,
the
go
thing
ahead.
is, we're getting really close to the 2024 election.
Right.
A lot of stuff's going on this next coming up year. And believe it or not, it's going to go by a lot faster than what we think. November is going to be here before we know it. Boom.
Oh, yeah.
And you're going to start seeing the campaign commercials. You're going to start seeing everything. So, the more they can try to put a wedge in people's daily lives, the harder it is for people to pay attention to what's going on in politics, because they're going to start pushing this whole COVID stuff again. And they're going to have these political campaigns coming out and people want to talk about what they can do for the country. And then you're just going to go back to 2020, 2021, where it's COVID. Every time you turned on the TV or flipped on something, it was something about COVID. And they're going to go right back to that.
New Mexico already has. New Mexico ordered a 2-week reset on November 13th. The order reinstated previous restrictions that they had before from the spring. And it's stating that New Mexicans must shelter in place and no non-essential businesses and nonprofits can operate in person through December 2nd. After the order expires, here's this out. The state will enter a tiered county by county system of lockdowns to keep the numbers in check, kind of like California.
Wow. So they can just forecast. They could just forecast how many numbers is it going to be. They just know. But I thought this winter was supposed to be winter was supposed to be.
Last winter was a dark one. Yeah,
the dark winter of death.
Yeah,
the red winter. This winter was supposed to be the same thing, and so far, I don't know what's going on with COVID because I don't pay attention to it. I haven't heard anything about it, and I don't have it. So
well, we have the flu back again, guys.
Oh yeah, the flu did come back.
Yeah, it's make its big comeback. It's got skills, man. Massachusetts also did it.
Oof.
Wisconsin also did it.
Ooh.
Rhode Island did it. Okay, so we have quite a few of the blue states doing exactly what blue states do, which is not use their brain. They're being completely moronic, stupid, and it's a power grab. Of course, they're trying to keep you in check. If they can keep you in check, they win.
Erica is asking the question, why are they doing this on Facebook there?
Like, that's what I said, to win. They're trying to get you. If I can keep you scared of what I'm going to do to you next, you're going to keep quiet.
Yeah.
But if you go against the grain and not stay quiet, then you got them.
Right. And just always think of the end state, or I said that's a military word. Is that a civilian word, end state? What? No, okay. I'm sorry, I used a military. So there was a military word, end state. That means end game, pretty much. So look at the end game. If they can scare you into lockdowns, and then after these lockdowns, remember like when this crap first started, there was like 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Remember that? Just 2 weeks. And then it turned into a month. Then it turned into 2 months. Then it turned into 6 months. So it's going to be the same thing here. They're going to be like, okay, we're only going to do this from the time frame, what Marlon, you said, from December to whatever, right?
Yeah, December 2nd.
It starts December 2nd, and they're probably going to go until beginning of spring, most likely.
More or less.
And then we're going to flatten the curve, and they're going to be like, oh, the numbers are spiking. We have a new variant of COVID. Now we have to push it out another. And then it's just going to keep going and going. And then we're going to start getting to election time. And then they're going to push mail-in ballots.
Right.
And all this crap again.
Well, it's interesting. And it's interesting how they went from a 2 week to flatten the curve deal. But then people who did not comply with that narrative, they're at fault as to why the 2 week curve was pushed back.
Didn't work.
Right.
Yes,
Yep.
we are on YouTube. You won't find us on a regular YouTube channel. You have to find us on our YouTube channel. I'll grab the link real quick here for you.
Are we on Rumble
I'll
still?
put in the, yeah, we're on all of
Okay.
it still. Want to make sure I got it here. Got it here. All right, here we go. Hey, we gained 15 subscribers this week, by the way. So that's
Thank
good.
you. Thank you.
Paste.
You guys are awesome.
So there you go. There is the link to the YouTube channel. Please, if you're on Facebook, go over there and sub to it. We need to get our numbers floating a little bit more. We need to get try and break the 500 mark. Hopefully by about, I don't know, middle January. That'd be great.
Around my
The
birthday.
ideal, of course, is to get to that 1K mark. If we can get to that 1K mark, we'll be in absolute business.
And especially like you people that are watching it, or especially on Facebook, social media platforms like that, it's so easy to share this podcast. You just hit that share button, kick it out to your people, ask them to share it. They kick it out. If they like it, they watch it. If they don't, they keep it moving. You know, so don't be afraid to share it. Share it to any political page, any political channel that you subscribe to out there, and just share it if it's allowed.
Yeah, threaten them if you have to.
Yes. Wait, 3 minorities on.
Yeah, if they don't tune in, they're racist. I mean, it makes sense to me.
I mean, we can play that game, right? It works every time.
You don't watch them. There's 2 black guys and this Asian guy. You got to watch them.
There's blackanese up in that mouth.
Do they make any sense? It doesn't matter.
Identify.
It don't matter if they make sense. They're minorities. Watch them.
We have to listen to them.
Support Black and Asian voices. That's what you gotta say.
Oh man.
Oh my. Anyway, I don't think the lockdowns are going to matter in comparison to what this nonsense is going to do. So let's listen to Mr. I'm going to call him Chucky from now on, because that's what he reminds me of, is Chucky. How we do them, Bella? That's what he reminds me of.
You know, hunched over and shit.
So here's Mr. Chucky explaining the bill.
Look, the bill has been carefully worked on by the Appropriations Committee for a very, very long time. Most of the provisions of the bill were well known weeks and weeks and weeks in advance.
Lies.
And getting this bill done for the American people, which really matters, is the most important thing. Yes.
Lies.
Did Democrats miss an opportunity to deal with the debt ceiling in the lame duck while you still have unified Democratic control and maybe could use reconciliation?
Our view is it should be done in a bipartisan way, and we will be working in the next Congress to get that done.
Leader Schumer, given Kevin McCarthy's strong opposition to this bill, do you see this as perhaps the last omnibus of President Biden's first term? And how do you expect to deal with government funding and the debt limit?
Look, I think that it's too early to judge what's going to happen in the House. There's so much discombobulation and disunity.
Hold on. The reason he's not going to say anything about it is because they've already bought both McConnell and McCarthy. Okay, they've already bought those two.
Oh yeah.
Okay, don't let McCarthy lie to you about how he gonna do this and do. He's a snake. Okay,
Yep.
I don't trust him. I definitely don't trust McConnell. There are at least 9 senators that are in Republican name that went and voted for this thing.
Yep.
Okay, 9 of them, and a lot of them. I think one of them was actually what's his name? The
Graham?
no, the round face guy that did a whole bunch of good talking during the impeachment trial for Trump. Why can't I remember his name now?
Gates?
He wears glasses.
Oh.
I'll remember.
Graham?
I'll get the name.
Lindsey Graham?
No.
Not Graham. No. I'll get the names here. I'm going to get it because I need to get them names. We have to get them known. All right. Let's see the 9. 9 House Republicans. Okay, so these are the House Republicans who did it, right? Kate Coe, Jacobs, Fitzpatrick, Upton, Mitch, Kitzinger, Davis, Womack, Herrera, Sheen, and Liz Cheney. Of course, Liz Cheney would be in there.
Of course.
I need to find the senators that voted for it, because that's the bigger people that really pushed it down to get it sent over to Biden anyway. We knew there were tons more in the the House that would vote for it. But the Democrats were gung ho about it. The list of the names: Roy Blunt. That name sound familiar?
Like a
People
blunt?
love Roy Blunt, right? Roy Blunt. They love Roy Blunt. He voted for it.
Mm.
John Boozman, Shelley Capito, Susan Collins, John Cornyn voted for this. Tom Cotton voted for it. Lindsey
What?
Graham voted for it. Yes, Tom Cotton voted for it. Jim Inhofe voted for it. Mitch McConnell, Jerry Moran voted for it. Lisa Murkowski voted for it. Rob Portman voted. Mitt Romney, Mike Rounds, Richard Shelby, John Thune, Roger Wicker, and Todd Young. Now, the
I
names
can't
that
believe-
should make you mad, the names you should get you mad at is John Cornyn and Tom Cotton.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that those two joined the cabal and voted for this nonsense should make you mad. That should make you mad.
Someone in a comment wants to get caught up. What is the $1.7 billion spending bill?
Is that the
Oh,
infrastructure bill that
it's
they-
a pork-filled bill that they tried to use to make sure they didn't shut down the government. But in it is all kinds of money for Ukraine and very little for the United States populace. There's all kinds of spending for transgender, for cross-dressing, for transitioning, for statues that have nothing to do with the American people. So-called infrastructure that only have buildings that have to do with LGBTQ. It's insane. It's ridiculous. And this is what they did. They try to put it on the back that, oh, if you don't do it, then the military can't get a raise.
It's not true.
And that's what the Republicans said, that they voted so that they wouldn't have to come across as the bad guys. Yeah, I did see Chip Roy's video. He went in. I'm going to try and find it because he went off on them. I'm going to let Chucky finish here.
On different sides of the Republican caucus. We're going to, as I've mentioned before, we're going to work very hard to work with Republicans to get things done. We did, of the big 6 bills this year in a 50-50 Senate, 5 were bipartisan. Last year, one of the biggest bills, the BIF bill, the bipartisan infrastructure bill, which now has some other initials. I think they keep changing these initials. It's not so. IIJA, is that what it's called? I don't know what it's called. But in any case, the BIF bipartisan bill was done that way. And we're going to keep working to get something done in a bipartisan way. Yes.
Can you talk about your relationship, to the degree that one exists, with Kevin McCarthy? You talk about misconfabulation in the House of Representatives. You're going to be the Senate Majority Leader. He might be the...
Look, I've always gotten along with Kevin McCarthy. We don't agree on a whole lot of issues, but I try to work with anyone I can to get things done for the American people.
Lies,
That's a
lies,
lie.
and more lies.
That is a lie right there.
Okay,
No,
so
see,
here's a
Linda-
breakdown.
America's priorities are not
Go
way
ahead.
out of whack. It's these senators and these politicians' priorities that are way out of whack.
Mm-hmm.
Just responding to a comment. So
Just so 118 billion for Veterans Administration, not for benefits. I want people to understand their wording is very specific. Don't let them try and put the word veteran in front of something to make you think that it's for the veterans actually. This is for the Veterans Administration. This is going to pay people to delay more things for the veterans. Okay, this has nothing to do with their benefits. This has everything to do
So
with
we're
the
talking-
administration of said benefits.
So we're talking managers, staffers, PR folks, social media regulators, and whatnot. Not necessarily the veterans themselves or the benefits therein, but operational costs, supposedly, and all that other
Right.
stuff that will not go to benefit the veterans.
Never.
Just so y'all
Never
know.
will. Another 44 billion to Ukraine.
That pisses me off.
Right now we're at almost 200 billion given to Ukraine so far. 200 billion. Okay? 40 billion in disaster funds for helping communities recovering from extreme weather like hurricanes, wildfires, and floods. You give more to Ukraine than you do to the disaster funds in your own country, but talk about infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Okay. 39 billion to the Justice Department, including 11 more billion to the FBI. Right? The FBI gets more money. 2 more billion to Attorney's Office. Okay. And this is what they're doing. They're prosecuting related people on the January 6th attack. That's where they're funding all our money. It's to persecuting Americans for standing up for their rights.
Now, hey, Marlon, this is the same three-letter. These are the same three-letter groups that had child CP found on their computers, that lied
Yes.
about, the J6 attacks,
And the
that
Hunter Biden
literally-
thing too. Yes.
the Hunter Biden thing. They lied about, all this other stuff, and now this bill is going to give them another additional $39 billion.
Billion. Yep.
Good to know.
Yeah.
All right.
And then
Great.
they got 735 million going to fund the Capitol Police who lied about what happened on January 6th and let people into the building. Just let that marinate for a minute. And that's an increase of about 132 million. And now they're going to have 2,000 officers and 567 civilians involved in this.
Good job.
15 billion to so-called community project funding. Okay, listen to this, which will go towards 7,200 public works nationwide. 3 million is proposed for Universal Hip Hop Museum
Oh my gosh.
and a hiking trail of $3 million for Michelle Obama. This is your money at work. This is your work. 5 billion on low-income house energy assistance program. Again, Ukraine gets 44 billion. And this is to okay, I'm going to say it now. These are to these idiotic Negroes that keep voting for the Democrats. I'm going to call you that because that's what you are. You're stupid. Okay, you dumber than a box of rocks. You are keep voting for these clowns who are keeping you in poverty. And this is the little handout they give you, $5 billion. Here, go. We'll give you some energy assistance to build your houses a little bit better. Meanwhile, they gave these people who are laundering money back to them 44 billion. They're disarming you, keeping you poor, and giving you these little measly things and calling it help. And you happy to vote with them like a little slave running back. Massa, give me more, Massa. Give me more. Give me more, Massa.
Like a little
Hip-Hop
Pekingese.
Museum.
What is that?
Right?
What does that even mean?
Chronicling Tupac.
Who the heck knows? Listen to this one. 524 million for the National Institutes of Health to fund a subdivision focused on minority health and health disparities research.
What does that mean?
I think you already know what's plaguing people, but you're going to research it now. Right. 65 million for the necessary expenses associated with the restoration of Pacific salmon populations.
Hold on a second. You skipped the 410 to reimburse Jordan, Lebanon, Egypt, Tunisia, and Oman for tighter border security?
And we don't have no border security. We don't have
Hold on
border
a second.
security.
Wait, hold on a second. Wait, okay.
Let me
$410 billion.
Yes.
Y'all, $410 million to
Yes.
1, 2, 3,
Jordan.
4, 5
5.
Islamic-based countries
Mm-hmm.
for their border security.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
$410 million to 5 of these countries to tighten their borders. But our southern border is what? Come on in, everybody, kind of a thing.
A sieve.
Okay, good to know.
A sieve.
All right, just making sure.
Yeah.
Just making
Hey,
sure.
New
Amazing,
World Order,
right?
man. We're one world.
Amazing.
Amazing.
One person did not and does not like this concept, and his name is Chip Roy. If you're not familiar with Mr. Chip Roy, you should be familiar with Mr. Chip Roy. He's slowly becoming one of my
I saw him.
favorite.
That's
He's
awesome.
becoming one
Yeah, I know
of
who
my
this is.
favorite congressmen. Reason being, this man does not give a single flying flip about what you think. He don't care about your feelings. He don't care about none of that. And he will call out when I say everybody. And I love that. He goes on for 20 minutes, but there's a certain portion if I can find it that I want you to hear, because it's very rare to have this much
Gumption.
passion and transparency. So listen,
I thank the speaker and thank the gentleman from Texas and wish him well and a very Merry Christmas with his family and safe travels home. And I too share his affinity for wanting to work across the aisle. I've done so on numerous occasions. I'm fairly well known for speaking my mind on the House floor, but happy to work across the aisle, and also an equal opportunity basher of both sides when I disagree. But I wish we would have vigorous debate here on the floor of the House. A lot of the things that the gentleman from Texas talked about, I agree wholeheartedly. The immigrants who discussed wanting to come to the United States, I'd like them to have safe passage under our rules and under our laws. Right now, we have a broken system that is endangering lives of immigrants, endangering the lives of Americans. We talked about the ideals and the values of this country, and I share those ideals and values. And I would ask and inquire of my colleagues in the body broadly, how can we maintain those ideals if we're bankrupt? How can we maintain those ideals if we're writing checks we can't cash?
period.
I can give speech after speech after speech about this topic, but unless we change our ways on both sides of the aisle, this country will not survive. I don't know what it's going to take to get the people who are entrusted to run this country, and that starts in this chamber, the power of the purse entrusted to the people's house. We are abusing it. We are conducting our duties irresponsibly, both sides of the aisle. Today, the United States Senate, supposedly the quote upper chamber, the House of Lords in the United States, if you will, sent us, or is in the process of sending us after voting for it, a 4,155-page bill unveiled yesterday morning at 1:30 a.m. that will cost $1.7 trillion. This bill will increase spending $118 billion. This bill has $45 billion for the country of Ukraine. 21% over President Biden's request, by the way. $40 billion for disaster relief. $15 billion for 7,234 earmarks. With the senior senator of Alabama, Richard Shelby, walking out of the Senate with a legacy of $670 million. I believe the senior senator said that monuments are from pigeons and dogs in response to my criticism. Well, there's a lot of stuff in your name in Alabama, and you just got some more, Senator Shelby. Is that what this is about? Because who's paying for that? He's not paying for it. Our kids and grandkids are paying for it. You know what else we're paying for? We are paying for $500,000 to the Long Island Gay and Lesbian Youth Incorporated, $113,000 to the LGBT Center of Greater Reading, Pennsylvania, $1.5 million for the Loft LGBTQ Community Center New Home Project in New York, which I got excoriated as somehow being hateful for tweeting that out earlier by one of my colleagues. Now, hold on a second. So I'm hateful for raising whether or not we should have $1.5 million set aside for a loft community center in New York that is then divvied up by both age and sexual identity or preference. Okay, I'm the bad guy for thinking that maybe taxpayers are thinking, why are we doing $750,000 for New York-based in our own Voices, Inc., which aims to strengthen the voices of LGBT people of color and increase their capacity for combating oppression and marginalization. $250,000 to support Wisconsin's first in the nation gay rights law book and archive. How about the climate agenda? $1.3 million for workforce development activities at a climate change education center in the Los Angeles Community College District. $3 million for clean energy workforce development at the New York State Energy Research and Development Authority. $200,000 for the Rhode Island AFL-CIO's Climate Jobs Workforce Training Initiative. $875,000 for green energy on demand at Clarkson University. $400,000 for the placement of at-risk young adults into the green jobs industry. $2 million for community-driven air quality environmental justice assessment at the University of Illinois. $2 million for a climate change impact on water initiative at Texas State University. I represent Texas State University, and that's garbage. Why are we doing this? $10 million for the state of Hawaii's zero-emission bus program. $1.6 million for the Center for Wind Energy at UT Dallas. Texas is pretty well represented with all these earmarks. Inequality and equity. The Omni funds pointless equity initiatives and subsidies even more radical ideologies, such as $1.5 million for equity and ecosystem health through water column development, $2.25 million for the Shoreline Equity and Adaptation Hub, $750,000 for the acquisition of a building in Brooklyn, New York to create the Brooklyn Center for Social Justice, Entrepreneurship, and the Arts, $300,000 for the City of Sacramento's Neighborhood Equity Initiative, $477,000 for the Equity Institute's Teacher Professional Development. How about racial wokeness? A few examples. $443,000 for the Racial Justice Improvement Project, Montgomery County DA's office. $1 million for the Penumbra Theater in St. Paul, Minnesota to develop and implement a curriculum for racial healing and equity training. $1 million for $800,000 for economic development for Black communities in Colorado, $750,000 for a minority-owned small business emergency assistance program in Seattle. I could go on and on and on for all of the things that are put in here, divvying us up by race, divvying us up by gender ideology, all of those earmarks just flooding out with money we don't have. But that's not even the worst of it. That's not even the actual irresponsibility of this body. That's just pork spending that this body is used to doing to the tune of $15, $16 billion. The real problem is that we are funding a whole alphabet soup of federal agencies that are demonstrably not doing their job, but more importantly, are demonstrably targeting the American people.
Boom. And boom. Like I said, I really like that guy. He is one of the few that is not willing to sit by and just... Did you hear how many gay this, gay that, trans this, trans that, black this, white this? No, I'm sorry, no white. It's all black this, Asian this, Hispanic this. Everything is divvied up in a manner
I didn't even hear Asian.
that we can look at it and say, oh, they're helping. What? Okay, so tell me exactly what they're doing to help anything get better. All you're doing is getting recognition for what you were born as. Okay, you want special treatment because you got born?
They're helping on paper. You know, it sounds good, but you know that money's not going to go anywhere near those people or those groups.
No, it won't.
They never do.
Mm-hmm.
And yet,
but you're still going to have people vote for them. Yeah. So you're
Yeah.
still going to have people vote for them. You're still going to have people vote for them.
And the crazy thing is I did not divvy my tax dollars to go to this kind of stuff.
No.
Yep. That's why you just stop paying taxes.
I gotta figure out how to avoid that IRS though.
Easy.
Fuck them.
Well, maybe not. I mean, that's how you get children that you
Yeah,
don't
how?
want. But
Okay.
True.
we don't want more Jay Lees running around without him as actually parenting them. That's not what we want. we want him in the household. Okay.
I'd be in my
That's true.
60s. I'd be in my 60s on a trip to Atlanta. I'm looking at this kid like,
You look like a friend of mine. I can't
He's
place his
partially
name right
Asian,
now.
and he
there's 3 of you. There's a black, Asian, and Hispanic. What the hell? Jay Lee's been busy. What's your dad's name?
Brother.
Jay Lee.
Jay Lee Jr. What you?
one of
you're the
them
weirdest mix.
87,000 IRS agents decided to come my way. Apparently,
Yeah.
Look, this whole thing should be an eye opener that you don't just because they got an R next to the name that you vote for them.
Yep.
Okay. And I'm talking, you can't educate Democrats. Okay. They're not intelligent enough to be educated. I'm going to say that on record. No Democrat. And I mean, not a voter that's a Democrat, not a congressman that's a Democrat, not a senator. None of them have enough intelligence to persuade them of anything intellectual.
That's very
They're
true.
all stupid.
Yep.
The Democrats will vote stupid because they are stupid. They don't have an education. You can have as many degrees as you want. You're still a dummy.
still stupid. Yep.
Okay.
No
Um,
common sense.
Not beside being a dummy, you're a hateful individual and you want to kill babies. And as long as that's the case, you and I will never have an eye to look at each other with. Okay. I don't want nothing to do with you. If you can stay in your corner, you could get run over in front of me. And I will
Here he
look at
goes.
you and say,
Here he
sorry,
goes.
coming.
Here Marlon goes. Here he goes.
maybe now you know what the kid feels like when you rip him apart in the womb. I don't know.
I always say if I had to run into a burning house and there was a liberal, a 3-legged cat, and a blind deaf dog, I would get the 3-legged cat and the blind deaf dog first.
First, only. I'm not even talking about first, just only.
I can't go back in. I quit.
I got the two
It's
most
hot
important
there.
things.
It's so hot.
I got the 2 things I will actually care about somebody other than themselves.
That's
Okay, so
right.
that's what I care about. So I'm going to say this to you: if you are, I don't consider myself Republican, but people understand.
I'm not
But if you are going to try and help this country out, just putting a check mark because their name has an R next to it. Remember people like Lindsey Graham, Mitch McConnell, and the 19 names I read off, because you have it does not work. We only see the flower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still see the flower.
Um,
You gotta refresh the page.
it's okay to see the flower. That's what I always see. I don't see your face anytime on YouTube.
But we had this discussion 3 weeks ago about checking the block.
Yeah, checking the box. That's all people do is just check the box. This is insane to me that people still think that somehow because, okay, if it's not sold on you yet, look at how many people have gotten into the House that say they're Republican and have voted Democrat. Lindsey Graham is not an exception. That's a senator, but you look at someone like Liz Cheney, who tells you that she is a Republican and has nothing to do with Republican. Her dad was the same way. Okay. McCain, same way. Mitt Romney, same way.
Yep.
They're all over the place. They are all over the place. And we have to stop doing this if we want this country to get back on track, okay, even if you don't believe in the God thing, put aside the God thing. If you want this country to just run right financially, you cannot leave it up to any Democrat person.
Yep.
If you look at their cities, if you look at their counties, it's like watching a third world country every time. Every time you see a Democrat run something, it's right into the ground. That's the only direction they know. It's the only, and I don't care if you think, oh, you're just not what I'm watching everything. And there's not a single Democrat ever, and I mean ever, including JFK, because he's the one that also facilitated the civil rights bill to begin with. So, okay, every Democrat, every last one of them, has not done a single thing to help this country.
Not to mention, not only do a single thing for the country, but at the expense of the country.
Agreed.
They get
At the
fatter
expense.
while everything gets dirtier and filthier.
And I'd say about half of the Republicans or more are doing the exact same thing.
That's right.
Because we voted for them because they got an R next to them and they talk really good during the election phase.
Or
We don't
we voted
actually
for them
look into their
before.
life.
We voted for them before they had lobbyists in their pockets.
Yeah.
And they started off okay, then big bucks, big money started coming in, and they're always going to vote the way the lobbyists want to vote. And what are most lobbyists? Most lobbyists are Marxist, leftist leaning people. So they're always going to vote where the money's at.
Red is the new blue.
That's right.
Sorry to say that, but red is the new blue.
Yep.
And sometimes blue is the new red. And I mean that in terms of this. Red is the new blue. Republicans are now the new Democrats, and the Democrats are now communists.
Yep.
That's what I mean. Okay.
Makes sense.
And that's eventually where they're trying to take everybody. They're trying to take everybody from either centrist or right to far left. And sorry to say, it's working. It's working more now than it did before, because now they've inundated the school systems with it to teach children to be more idiotic than they ever have been.
Yep.
I was watching a YouTube thing the other day, and these children are protesting a teacher and want him fired because they say he used the N-word. This is the scenario. 2 kids in his class were talking back and forth, using the N-word at the top of their lungs. And he told them to stop saying, and he used the word. And they pulled out their phone and started, what did you say? What did you say? And then he told them, stop using this in the classroom. And they said for him to use it, it was bad. But for them to use it, it's encouraging. I've talked about this before too. They're not offended by the word. They're offended by people who use the word.
Mm-hmm.
They love the word. They love the N-word. They love it. They like using it. It's a great word for them. You just can't be white and use it.
Well, when I worked in the jail system for 5 years, they all called each other that word.
Yeah.
They didn't care if you was Asian, white, Hispanic, black. They all used that word. And then I asked them all one day, I was like, so why in prison or jail is it okay for all you guys to use that word, but you would punch this white guy in the face if you use it out in the real world? You know what I mean? So it's not that they're against who uses it. I think it's a time and a place for them. If there's a cool white dude that was down with them, right? You've seen those, or his Mexican, whatever, any race. Asians that grew up in the hood with black people, white people, whatever. They use the word all the time too. You've seen it. You've heard it. You know what I mean? It can't be, Mr. Rogers using it. But
I've heard Mr. Rogers. No, just kidding.
But if it was little freaking Pop-Tart,
hey,
Bunny Rabbit using it, they'd be cool with it.
If Mr. Rogers ever used that word, you should run.
Mm-hmm.
Quiet people using that word.
But Mr. Rogers ain't no.
I heard some stories about Mr. Rogers.
He ain't no punk, from what I heard. I heard that dude's a stone cold killer.
I heard he had sleeves too.
Yep. They said he was a sniper or something.
Yeah, he was something high up in there, like dangerous. Him and what's the other one that used to hang out with him?
The cop?
No,
or Mr. Magoo or the kangaroo?
Not
What's
kangaroo. You know who I'm talking about, right? Though
on the same show?
Not the same show. There was a counterpart that came out of the same war that he did and started a child show too.
I know who you're talking about.
I forget his name. But he was another one that had the exact same kind of thing attached to him. Like he was the reason they went into childhood stuff was because Captain Kangaroo.
That's what I said, Mr. Kangaroo or something.
When he said Mr. Kangaroo, I was like, who's Mr.
I was like, I knew it was Kangaroo. I just forgot the captain.
So they went into the same field because they didn't want to have anything to do with the war in their mind. And this was the best way for them to keep still and silent.
Got muted, Marlon. No.
Yeah, I know, because I was telling people to shush. They kept talking in the background.
I see.
So the thing about it is you can't really judge people by their skin color, by their quietness and stuff like that. But we bring him up for a reason, because a lot of the times we in America, we go and we get complacent with our voting. We get lackadaisical. And we say we don't listen to mainstream media, but you do. You listen to a different kind of mainstream media that tell you that this particular Republican is going to be on your side. And when you should look into their history, you don't, because you trust a certain voice.
Mhm.
Never trust the voice. Never. You go and you research that person's everything, background, all of it, every last one of it. If they don't have the values you possess, they don't get your okay. It's that simple. And if that means you don't vote, then don't vote. If they literally have no one on the ballot, write yourself in. Write yourself
Exactly.
in. Because they're not worth the numbers if they're not worth the numbers. This is something we have to start looking into, because a lot of the times we'll end up with bills like this. And like I tell you, those names I mentioned, I would not have believed that Cornyn would have gone for this bill.
And I don't think it's really going to change. I mean, Gen X is going to be that generation, I think, and your elder millennials are going to be the generation to kind of get these old people out. I hate to say it, but it's a lot of the boomers who are keeping these people in there too, because Gen X and elder millennials aren't out there voting. Well, Gen X is more than elder millennials. They're not out there actually voting like they say they would. Boomers, you bet your ass they're going to vote. They're going to vote,
and they're
one way or
funding
the other
too.
Yep, and they're funding a lot of it. So of course you're going to keep the guys like Mitch McConnell in there. You're going to keep all these rhinos. That's why John McCain stayed there long. That's why Mitch McConnell still there. Chuck, all these people.
Yeah.
And until Gen X and these elder millennials and late millennials who are conservative start actually putting their money where their mouth is and getting out there and actually vote, you're not going to see a change.
Right.
You won't.
Right. Our generation, I think most of us here I think Lee, you might be on the tail end of Gen X.
No, I'm legit. I'm one of those ex-millennials.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
elder millennial.
In between
You're in
Gen
the
X,
phase that
millennial.
before they got totally dumb. They still had the intelligence of X, but they were just about to fall off the planet.
Let's just say I still know what dial-up sounds like.
Well, that's good. That's good. That's a good thing. I think that's a humbling experience.
So you grew up with the original Nintendo and
Yes.
Sega Genesis and
Yeah.
all that stuff. Okay.
If
But
you want to learn
I still was able to go outside and know what freeze tag meant.
That's right.
Yes.
If you want to learn patience, dump your high-speed internet and get dial-up.
Remember LimeWire?
Oh my
Oh,
god.
yeah. Napster, bro. Come on. MP3 players?
Napster was the best for music, man. I'm telling you, I trusted Napster like nobody's business for music.
No, LimeWire wasn't, because I used to get all kind of viruses on my computer.
No, I trusted Napster for music. I don't know why, but it always worked for me that I could get any MP3 I wanted in college out of Napster.
And when I was in the military, man, we used to always try to, instead of going to buy CDs, of course, we went to LimeWire, man. So he's like, oh, did you hear the new Korn, whatever? The Korn album, Korn song came out. So you go to LimeWire and try to download it. And some asshole like records it from the radio. Welcome to WPA9. Here's the new song from Korn.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Like, okay, so I'm gonna go back even further than before Napster, okay, before internet. Of course, you guys had it here before I even found out about it, right? So that whole idea of recording from the radio, I used to have old cassette tapes that I really liked them, but I bought one in particular. I found one in particular that I really liked, so I broke off the inside and I filled it with toilet paper, the bottom, so you can record again over and over on it.
Oh, yeah.
And that was, so anytime I cycled out one and I was like, well, I got tired of that song, so I guess I can record over that. And you got to time it just right for when the guy shut up for when the song starts.
Yep.
And you always got mad at him because he cut in at near the end of the song. And usually it's the best part of the song to say, and that was, I say, man, I know who it was. You don't need to keep telling me who it is. You said at the beginning of the song. I think we need to go back to those days to show people what it was like when you had to work a little bit harder for something that you consider now free. I think that'd be a great lesson. I think that'd be an amazing thing we should do. Yeah, the Scotch tape thing, you see, but okay. Again, people don't understand what broke is. You understand what poor is, but broke. The tape I found, not bought, I found this tape on the way home. It was just sitting there, cleaned it up, did the whole pencil, and toilet paper was what we had. Okay, so I put the toilet and you'd clean it out every, couple of recordings. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. And the one radio we had, it was a hand-me-down. It was about that wide, that tall, that deep. and it had only 2 sections there for your recording. Only one side could record and one side could play. You know, the old school
Mhm.
way.
I
So
remember
that,
those.
I mean, it barely worked. Broken antenna. You had to put your own. Man, look, people just don't understand the struggle. Like, now you can just go to your phone and grab a song.
Stream.
Oh my gosh, man! I think we need to put more people back through that, so they can understand what it meant to actually do some research on things. You didn't just take people's word for anything anymore. But that ain't gonna happen. I mean, I understand it's not gonna happen. Gen X was the last great. I consider Gen X the last great generation.
I just had a Gen Z dad moment. Oh, that's why I stepped away. Just like, God dang it. Oh my God, man.
getting old?
Huh?
You getting old?
Yeah, I'll be 1 year older in a couple weeks.
You're in January, baby.
Yeah.
We're a
Yep.
month apart.
Yeah. I'm beginning of January, so
Yeah, we're a month apart, bro. Look at that. He's older than me, though. I want people to understand that bro is much older than me. Like a lot older than me. Okay, I'm young compared to him. I want people to understand that I'm letting him brag about him being old. He is probably in the region of nearly 50 now.
what?
Um,
I'm
and,
still in my 40s, fool. Not even 50, not even close. Damn it.
he's gonna turn 46.
47.
So he's older than me.
Yeah. By
Way
like
older.
what? A month?
Way older. No, man, years. What are you talking about?
What you was born in what? 76, right?
No, man. Man, come on, man. I was born
Don't lie. Don't lie.
77.
Oh, so yeah, we're a year apart.
You're 75.
76.
You're 74.
I'm 76.
He keeps lying about his age. He's in his 50s, guys.
I don't
let him
lie
lie to
about
you.
my age. I was born January blank 1976.
I'm gonna say January 5th.
That's close. Real close.
I'm the 8th of February.
Oh, that's one day. Close.
See?
Yeah, so
Told you
we
we're
are
a month
about
apart.
yeah.
You're a year and a month apart.
No, we're a month apart exactly, almost.
No, a year and a month apart. I'm turning 46.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. See, year and a month apart. Told you,
See,
old, geriatric,
We're just babies.
fogey. You're fogey.
Yes,
Grandpa.
Linda. Yes, Linda. It's the 9th. The 9th.
What do you want for your birthday?
Not the presidency.
A better government?
I'm gonna put my Amazon wish list out for my birthday, and
Okay.
just get me cooking stuff, chef stuff. That's all I want.
I'll get you a butter knife.
I got hundreds of those.
No, but you don't have a butter knife from me.
I want a immersion blender. What else do I want? A really nice cutting board.
Okay, right there. All right. Now I still have something to finish for Jennifer. I need to finish. Yeah, Jen. I need to finish a rolling pin for her, but I can't get to my shed today because of how much snow we have, and I'm not going out there because there's no heat. So I need to finish her rolling pin. But as soon as I finish her rolling pin, I'll build you a
butcher block.
I'll build you a cutting board.
I mean, it has to be a big one, though.
I'll build you a cutting board.
Hell yeah!
Give me a butcher block.
You want it
Build a
like what,
butcher block.
15 by 15?
Yeah, one of the big ones.
Yes. Okay.
I need a lot of cutting space.
Here's the other question. Do you want live edge? It'll be
Live-
unique. Yeah, a live edge cutting board.
Yeah, I'll take that. And I want something unique, especially when I turn in my photos.
It will be
because
unique.
this coming up week, I'm going on week 7. Wait, what week am I in? 6, 7, something like that. And I have to do a French onion soup, which is easy because I did butcher and stocks, before Christmas, and then we start back up on the 12th. And then with the stock I made, I have to do French onion soup, which is
if you get that, then you have to get me some gummies for my birthday.
I don't even associate with them no more, but I can call them one of my people who sends them.
That's all I want is for you to get me some gummies.
All right, I'll get them. I'll get them for you for sure. I'll call her
because I think that's a fair trade.
Yeah, because the person that makes them is a really good friend of mine. We've known each other for like 16 years. So
I think that's a fair enough trade. You get a cutting block, and I get to cut the block.
I'll get you some gummies. You're gonna be, but don't take too many of them, or you'll be labeled a druggie. Just remember that.
Oh, didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you my latest excursion? You'll find this funny. I know people, I don't do this often, but I'm trying to not take oxy. Okay.
What's that?
I'm trying to my best to avoid taking narcotics because they
Thank
work,
you,
but
Yahweh.
they make me they bound you up. So I decided to try a liquid form of THC, and I bought the about a bottle about that big. It was short, you know. They said just take it, and I thought that it was a shot, and I chugged the whole thing. Well, I found out later it was 20 servings at 100 milligrams. All right. Yeah. Well, it didn't do what I thought it would. When I found out afterwards, like a day later, I was like, but even at 100, it didn't do what I thought it would have done. People thought, how did you manage to survive that? I was like, well, I felt it. But they were saying, no, you should have not been functioning at all. I was like, no, I was finally relaxed for a change. So I'm realizing that my tolerance is so high that even with that much in me, it didn't do what I was hoping it would do. So if you're gonna send it, I'm gonna send it, and it's not gonna do what you think it's gonna.
I mean, these only run at about a Delta 9, so Delta 8, Delta 9.
Well, I don't know if you can send it then.
No, you can. Is Delta 8, Delta 9 legal in Washington?
No, not to sell. I don't know about shipping, but it's not to sell.
Well, the shipping, they're not going to know what's in there. I mean, unless they got dogs sniffing it, but you got to find that out before she ships it. But I'm pretty sure the UPS or they know where they can or cannot ship it. But here in Texas, Delta 8, Delta 9 is illegal. Marijuana is still not.
Yeah, I do have a high tolerance for medication. I'll give you my tolerance level. I can take 2 oxy and a hydro, and it still not affect me.
Damn.
Jeez.
So
Yeah,
it's the doctors have a hard time putting me out. They have to do double almost every time. So I'm proud about that. At the same time, I'm not, because nothing works.
Don't take too much of it.
Bell.
I'm just saying, if you take too much Delta 8, Delta 9, you're going to be labeled a druggie.
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
Yep.
I am a bionic man, but I'm just not built like one yet. That's Petunia.
Yep, say Petunia. It's my shadow. She has to be on me all the time. That's why she sits right behind me.
She got anxiety?
Oh, yeah, real bad. That's why she has to sit behind me in my chair. This is like a barber's chair that I got at Ross. Typical barber's chair that they were selling. I bought it. So it goes up and down and spins around. And she sits like right behind me every time I'm in here. Then my other dog has anxiety too. She just has to sit there right next to me.
I have anxiety. I'm going to come sit next to you too.
Hey man, I'm known to drop people's anxiety, man, because I whisper sweet nothings in your ear. Especially
That's okay. The government already does that.
Yeah, the government's like this in your ear. We're gonna tax you.
Yes, Daddy.
Tax you to
Yes,
death.
Daddy government.
Yes,
Taking
Daddy.
all your money and we're sending it to Ukraine.
Thank you, Linda. Yeah, yes, Daddy. Take all my money and spend it.
Yes, tax me more. Tax me harder.
That's offensive. That's offensive. That's offensive.
Man. So my question then, next week, we still have to have our powwow, by the way, about direction and all that, guys. So next week, what topics are out there that you want to cover? I hear they're trying to ban TikTok in the United States, by the way.
Yeah, they're trying, but you know what? I'm on the fence with that because there's one side of me that don't really care. There's another side of me that I kind of like doing content because TikTok does have the perfect platform to do certain kind of content. Yeah. Instagram and YouTube Reels and Facebook Reels, they suck.
But if they're not around, then the others will pick up.
Well, hopefully they can pick up the style and their how they do it. You know what I mean? Hopefully Instagram is probably the best platform to do it on. They can kind of pick up that style with all the features and everything because they don't have that right now. So on the other hand, a lot of these
kind of have that with Snapchat though.
I had to delete Snapchat, man. Yeah, it was just like now that you can share your location and people can find you if you have your location, and that's crazy. They have your address. But the thing with TikTok, if they did ban it, you'd have a lot of these sideshow bobs that think they're famous and shit, like the Aunt Karens and all these people that they wouldn't know what to do with themselves because they suck on the other platforms. They get to nothing. And speaking of Aunt Karen, she got arrested.
I heard
just to let
I saw that.
Oh man, I saw the video. I was just like,
I would like to see Musk take Vine and
Yes.
resurrect Vine again, because that was the original TikTok.
Yes.
And they did
So
really
then
good.
we should talk about that then.
Yeah.
The
Let's
options
mention
of
that.
that. I hear that. I heard. I don't know if it was parody or just a joke, but they were trying to put Don Jr. as a CEO.
And I think
I
it
saw
was a
that
joke.
too.
I
I
don't
was
know.
like, eh.
Who
That,
knows?
that would have been funny if he did.
I
do it.
heard what's his name from MySpace?
Tom
Tom put his hat in the bag
for
to run Twitter.
really.
Yeah, he put his hat. He come out. Where the hell you been, Tom? We all thought you died of an overdose.
I remember that.
Oh shit, Tom, where the hell have you been? But yeah, Vine would be good. But even with Vine, he would have to do the TikTok method, lengthen the videos, because you can't do anything in 10 seconds or whatever. You know, hey, look at me. You know, that's it. That's all you
Here's the thing, though. A lot of the TikTokers that we see, they were former Vine famous stars who were able to
Yes.
take 6 seconds that Vine had, turn it into this big, huge spiel, and make really, really funny, good content out of it. Like, I appreciate,
that's
like,
true.
for instance, I don't know if you guys know who Gabby Hanna is.
No.
She's this weird, crazy person that came from Vine, who got Vine famous. When Vine shut down, they moved to YouTube, and they became the YouTube vloggers, whatever. And then now that TikTok is here, they try to go back to it. But I think Vine might be a pretty well, whatever. We'll talk about that next week if we get to it.
I really think it should bring back MySpace. I'm with that. So we'll talk
Oh,
about
yeah.
MySpace and Vine, the veracity of it coming back, and whether
we
it could
should-
replace something like TikTok. I think that'd be great.
Yeah, that would be cool.
And we should merge. We should merge Truth Social and Twitter. Call it True Twitter.
Truth.
Twitter.
We'll call it Truth.
True
Truth
Twitter.
Social. Truth.
And turn the little Twitter symbol into a red little birdie, Elon, if you're listening, which you're not, but make it red, please.
Make it red.
Hey, wait. Before we go though, did you see that Elon Musk made all these corrupt politicians check marks gray? Go look at it. Go
Really?
to Twitter and go to what's our president's name? Joe
Biden?
Biden.
I like that. What's our president's name?
Go to Biden's page. Go to like his wife. Go to what's that other weirdo's name? Booty Judge.
Booty
Judge. And then go to the former president Trump and go look at his.
No, it's
Yeah,
true.
it's great.
I just
It's great.
it's true. Oh my gosh! Why? How? Oh my!
That's funny. That is funny.
All
That-
of them. Look at
that's
all of
rich.
these corrupt. Even there's some righties in there that are corrupt. They all have gray check marks. But Matt Gaetz is still blue. He's a congressman. Look, Matt Gaetz, all these predominant, Republican,
is
the good
funny.
ones, they're still blue.
I'm looking at Stacey Abrams and Chuck Schumer and John Ossoff, and they're all still blue. But
Stacey, I don't think she's as, on the level of these ones that he made gray.
Kamala Harris is great. No
Yep.
way. The UN is grayed out.
Yep.
He
Yo, what the heck?
on it big time.
Now I'm
That's what
thinking
I'm
it's because they're corrupt and they're all corrupt individuals. Because there's no, if it was just for predominant politicians, all the politicians would have been gray, all of them.
Yeah.
But it's just a certain select ones got a gray, check mark.
Did he gray out the ones that were found in the Twitter files? Is that what it is?
It might
Maybe.
be. It might be.
Maybe.
Oh,
Well
okay.
played.
We'll add that.
Yeah.
too. I need to get the Twitter files, and we'll talk about that too.
Well
next week.
played, Elon. Well played.
So the
Touche.
Twitter.
Very
We'll talk about the Twitter files, Vine, and what was the other thing? And the MySpace.
MySpace, yes.
Vine and MySpace coming back. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Cool. We'll talk about that. In the meantime, people. In the meantime, we'll be making one more adjustment. We will no longer be having our fourth person, but that's okay. The three of us work just fine. We actually have a better dynamic with us three. And we'll just keep it at three. I think the original three will be just fine for the time being, unless something really, really pops out. But I doubt that'll happen.
Yeah.
And we'll run with this. What you'll always get though is no punches pulled. If we have something to say, we're gonna say it. Not everybody gonna like it, but then again, we were never the kinds of people that go based on what you like. So.
And before Marlon gets, because I know he has another podcast to do, but just understand, like, if you want to be a guest on a podcast, and a podcast has certain dynamics. It's called, dialogue is one of them. Listening, active listening, all this stuff, So just understand, if you ever want to be a guest, don't treat a podcast like it's a TikTok live. Don't treat it like it's a FaceTime call.
Right.
There's
Right.
back and forth dialogue. Listen, give your point, move on, let the next person speak, be done. So if you want to be a guest, just certain things you got to think about. I've been podcasting since 2016, so and keep whatever you have to say kind of short, 2 to 3 minutes, and
Succinct.
cut it
Yes,
off.
sir. All right. Well, love you guys. Thank you for and please share this one out, because that first portion of information we gave about the bill and the lockdowns is needed to be shared. People need to know about that, because they're trying to keep that on the low, and then just pounce it on people and be like, we didn't know. Well, you should have listened. So we want people to find out about that. So please share it as much as you can.
Like,
Too Strong
share,
will be
comment,
back
subscribe,
tonight.
folks.
Don't forget to join us on Too Strong tonight too. We have we're talking about Celine Dion.
Ugh, why?
I'm going to try and put a plug for this show on it tonight too. I'll ask her if I can put a plug for the Savage Patriots on there and see if we can get more traffic our way. I mentioned it on my show, so that should help too. So hopefully within the next month we can get some more.
Do you share it on the
traffic
Grizzle
on it.
Grunt?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah, it's going there right now too.
Right.
I might even see if we can sign up with Fair Media, because he could use a political stance, and he could get us really moving,
Oh yeah.
streamline us and get us moving in the right direction, because I think it's needed. So
That
it'll be a
dynamic.
full plate for me, but I think at the end of the day, it'll be good.
We have to get Jay a mic, get him a Yeti mic,
And a nice
Yeah.
computer.
get a Yeti.
Well, I already
mic.
have a MacBook, so I just need a couple of different elements, like a good mic and
a Yeti mic. It's
Oh,
called a
blue
Yeti
mic.
mic.
It's
Yeah,
from
the
Blue.
blue
figure
mic.
that out.
Yeah, it's just plug and play. That's
we
all
can
you
Well,
need.
figure
I
that
mean,
out.
I like the Shure SM7s better.
No, whatever you want. Just if we're gonna
So
go
the-
into that element, then we just
Yeah, we
I
gotta
do
be
need some
clean,
elements.
man.
That's fine.
You're the Asian, and you should have all this down pat. You don't. That's sad.
You guys.
I'm a
are-
student right now. I can't afford none of this stuff.
So am I. I'm a student too.
I'm not.
Well,
I'm graduated.
No, I already had all this stuff before I became a student.
right.
So we'll catch up with you guys next week. Hopefully we can do this more than once a week now. But I don't understand schedules and all this stuff. So
Yeah.
we'll get it squared away. We'll get it figured out. I'll run this by Corey if you guys are okay with that.
Yeah.
And see if we can get some more traction going, and we'll go from there.
All
And
right.
until then, we'll see you guys next week. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't yet, and if you have subscribed, share and like more. And we'll catch up with you next Wednesday. Peace.
Peace.